as we are. Did I go live yet? Nope, now I am. This thing on? This thing on? Hi everybody, this is Mark Nugent and we are broadcasting live, phone banking, and we're going to be walking for Don Wagner later today. If you're watching this in replay, go ahead and skip forward a few seconds to allow people to come on live, and we'll start getting it going here. And I hope you guys can hear me okay. Let me know if you cannot hear me. I am in a big table of people phone banking behind me or right in front of me, and also Don Wagner's here. If he's not busy, hopefully I can get the mayor here on the video and answer some questions. I already have some questions ready to go for him, so he's over there across the other side of the room on the phone. So let me guys know if you guys can hear me okay. We might make this a marathon broadcast. I'm not sure. So if you guys are joining us again, I'm here. We are phone banking, and we were supposed to go walk for Don Wagner today for his campaign, but fortunately it's a little rained out. I'll be here for about an hour, then we're going to go finish up our precinct over in Northwood. We have teams all over walking, just like the other candidates do, but we can warm it up, and I got some videos we can watch of some interesting things. I've got the video of Don Wagner swearing in. I got a video of him already preloaded talking about how to fight for your taxes. And also I even have some interesting videos on Loretta Sanchez dabbing. I don't know how to do that. Actually, there was one from the 2016 debate. People are laughing at me on their side of the table. So far we've got 8 people watching us live. So if anyone down the table wants to come say hi, feel free to hop in. If you guys want to talk about Don. All these people looking at me, it's so weird. Ray, if you want to sit down, you can. Make some background noise so people. But we'll probably get some comments. Thank you. We have a comment. Michael Lawrence Patterson says, "Stay strong, brother." Well, thank you. And I hope my video quality and my audio quality is good. Can you give me a sound check? I have another microphone coming in tonight. Right now I'm using the shotgun mic with a broken adapter, so it might not sound too good. But maybe it'd be hard for me to flip the camera around because I'm not filming on a cell phone anymore. I'm filming on a mirrorless DSLR, so I'd have to turn the little tripod to give you guys a 360 view. And maybe we'll do that in a moment. Don might come on. Hey, oh, you want to? Sure. And Don might actually come on. How about that? So, Don Wagner coming on? So Don's gonna come on, I guess. Oh, look at that. So awesome. So there's.
How are you, Mark?
Good. How are you doing? So
good.
Actually, we have your.
I'm good, thanks.
That's what they're seeing right now.
Ah, all right.
So I've got questions for you, and also we'll have comments coming across the screen. Here, scoot over.
All right. So
you look right in there.
I got a few minutes. What can I do for you?
Okay. Well, I got questions already preloaded.
Sure.
But we'll get. There we go. There you go. I'm still learning the software, so that's what they're seeing right there.
Huh?
But it's kind of hard. I always tend to look down.
Hello, folks.
So then those are the comments we'll see across. This
Okay.
is, there's a bit of a delay.
Okay.
But we'll see the comments here. Carrie O'Malley.
And my wonderful Transportation Commissioner, Carrie O'Malley, just joined us.
Yeah,
so hello, Carrie. Welcome.
Awesome. Okay, so I've got a bunch of kind of softball questions. This is
Okay.
This is the last interview I did.
Another.
So I've got some
colleague of mine,
softball questions.
so
We could do that.
Don't need softballs. We'll tell folks like it is.
If you want, we can just go ahead and you could tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. Well, I'm serving currently as the mayor of the city of Irvine, grappling with the local problems that we've got here, but finding that the city is quite well positioned right now for further development and expansion of our business community, expansion of our park services. Going to continue the great job that our public safety folks do with respect to keeping the city the safest, according to the FBI statistics, in the United States for violent crime. And so I think we're very, very well positioned to continue sort of the Irvine Renaissance that we've seen for the last couple of years that I've been privileged to be involved in and to lead the council with. Before that, I did serve this community up in the state legislature for 6 years. And before that, well, my wife and I came to Irvine back in 1991, raised the kids here, sent them all to the Irvine public schools, and couldn't be a stronger proponent and champion of those schools. So that's me for the last almost 30 years, Mark.
Awesome. We have another one of our supporters, Michael Caroni. He's a huge supporter of yours. He just logged in. So, hey,
all right. Hey, Michael, how you doing? Welcome.
And so I got some other questions. Like we have a question here: top 3 problems, or top 5, top 3 facing Orange County.
Well, I would say that there's within the Board of Supervisors' purview, one of the top issues is homelessness that's been dealt with sort of haphazardly for many, many years now by the supervisors. And one of the things they tried to do that made absolutely no sense for the city of Irvine was foist on us that homeless tent city over by the Great Park. Made absolutely no sense whatsoever. It was not a good location, not one fit for human habitation. And to me, it made no real sense to just kind of pick up the problem at the Santa Ana riverbed in Anaheim, or pick up the problem at the courtyard and just move it to Irvine. What we're looking for is actual fixes. That issue is a big one that the supervisors have to deal with. Another one is just public safety in general, because at the end of the day, we're watching the state government try to release more and more prisoners, the state government sending more and more of their violent felons down to the county level, and that's pursuant to Governor Jerry Brown's proposition, or his AB 109 realignment, which has burdened our local communities greatly. And the result being that we're seeing an uptick in violent crime, an uptick in property thefts, an uptick in drug and alcohol abuse and crime associated with it. And so the County Board of Supervisors absolutely needs to grapple with that. And then finally, here in the 3rd District, we do have a fair amount of open space. We need to make sure it is managed properly. We need to make sure that our communities that back up to some of that open space are not vulnerable to the fire catastrophes that we saw, unfortunately, up in Northern California. And that is something that really isn't being talked about at all by the Board of Supervisors, but does need to be, especially here in the 3rd. We have Silverado Canyon, we have Majestic Canyon, we have some areas of the Cleveland National Forest backing up to Yorba Linda in the 3rd, and we've got some areas in and around the Lemon Heights, Cowan Heights areas that are very rural, susceptible to fire, and we've got to make sure that the people in those areas are all protected. Something that the Board of Supervisors can do but hasn't really talked about. That's 3 that come to mind most immediately, Mark.
Okay. What's the first 3 things you plan to do when you're elected?
Well, I plan to make sure that those 3 things I just talked about are focused upon and are at the forefront of the consciousness of the rest of the Board of Supervisors.
Okay, we'll appreciate that. Again, these are softball questions. I wanted to bring out that you are live and you're taking questions live.
Right.
And I never had a discussion with you before. I emailed you and you called me right back because I wanted to be involved, and you call me back. And that, for me, that's an important thing as a constituent, as a voter, that there's feedback.
Well, we are always looking at in government at getting our citizens involved, and an involved citizen is a better voter. An involved citizen is able to give back to the community. An involved citizen is able to help government do what it needs to do without getting in the way of the people who are doing for themselves. And so I have zero problem whatsoever with anybody getting a hold of me. Stop me in the grocery store, call me at City Hall. I can tell you about some of the minor issues that are important to 1 or 2 people in the community. Well, we can respond to those, and I enjoy responding to those. That's one of the reasons you get into public service. And I want to thank you for, when I called you, for responding so quickly and, in fact, volunteering to step up your game here in Irvine as a commissioner. So thank you for that.
I haven't announced that yet.
That
was on Monday. So anyway,
never mind.
But no, I just want to bring out that you actually
live television is scary.
I emailed your official, because I don't know you, so I was like, oh, who's not going to call me back? Within 12 hours, you call me back. So I thought that was awesome. And other people have not, so we'll just leave that there. So, any debates planned?
Well, we actually had one already at the OC Forum on Thursday, and we're live, so you folks know it's a wet Saturday morning here in campaign headquarters. So we've had one. There are a couple more planned. The Foothills community out in again the Lemon Cowan Heights, North Tustin area has one planned, and I'm unaware as I sit here of any others that are coming up, but almost certainly there will be other opportunities.
Okay. You also did mention taxes earlier, and at the end of this video, I actually found a video of you
Okay.
fighting against illegal taxes when you were a state assemblyman.
Mm-hmm.
It's on your Facebook page. I pulled
Right.
it off. I did a video and I played it before.
Okay.
But after this is over and you're done talking, I'm going to play that for you guys. So you could
Okay.
listen to our Mayor Don Wagner as an assemblyman fighting to lower our taxes.
Exactly. I think government is too big. I think government tries to do way too much that the people should and can do for themselves. And my idea is to leave as much money as possible in the pocketbook of the folks that the government is supposed to serve, rather than unfortunately, some of my colleagues tend to think that you serve us. I know differently. At the debate that we did have already, you were talking, that you mentioned a minute ago, Mark, we did have a fairly long conversation on a whole bunch of issues, and I'll tell you, the other leading candidate in the race on the other side of the aisle, Loretta Sanchez, talked all about how the solution to every problem was, well, she knows where the money is and she'll go get money. And I'm thinking the solution to most of our problems is not throwing more money at it. The solution to most of our problems is figuring out why we have the problem and intelligently finding ways, creative ways to solve those problems. Not every problem gets solved by shoveling more of your tax dollars at it.
Yeah, when I was in Hawaii, I had a business, a vending machine business. And
Right.
I was balancing that between military duty, and I wanted to hire somebody. And I could have hired someone at 20, 30 bucks an hour if I didn't have to pay an exorbitant amount of taxes.
Right.
So when you lower my taxes, that means I could have hired 2 or 3 people to build this business.
Right.
I had a small business. I ended up selling it and then I went back active duty and retired. But that's my opinion on taxes.
Well, there's a place for them. I'm not an anarchist, and there should be no taxes. There are things government can and should do, public safety being probably the biggest one of them. But at the end of the day, there's an awful lot government tries to do that it doesn't do very well, doesn't do very efficiently. Government is a blunt instrument and is not a scalpel. And I think any government official ought to keep that in mind as they're trying to do their duty.
So we have a question from John Hacker. Do you know him?
Okay, I do not know John.
He's a Vietnam veteran.
Okay.
I know him personally.
Okay.
He asked,
Hello, John.
and I'll read. This is just a live question.
Okay.
And you guys can see it at home. What about veterans? Todd Spitzer was an advocate. You guys can't even get the flagpoles corrected on Bake. I speak weekly at OC Supervisors meeting.
What about veterans? Well, it shouldn't be a tough one. The answer is that the veterans community has been ignored for too long. One of the larger components of the homeless problem is a embarrassingly large contingent of veterans. One of the things that we talked about, the Board of Supervisors and Irvine leadership, is the possibility of on community land, county land in Irvine, up West Alton is where we have it. It's called the West Alton Parcels, is putting a home for homeless veterans and providing them the services that they need. We are working towards that end. When I was on the community college board that runs Saddleback College and Irvine Valley College, one of the things that we developed and they currently have is a very, very robust center to help veterans, a Veterans Resource Center, help them with education, help them with job training, help them get invigorated and back into the community. And so I think my record on helping veterans is one that I'm proud of. That said, I will absolutely agree with you, John, that at the end of the day, more work needs to be done for our veterans. It needs to be done at the community level and at the county level. And I hope to have the opportunity at the board to focus on veterans issues.
Well, I'd be more than happy to help you with that.
You would be my go-to guy.
As you know, I did 20 years in the United States Army. I joined when I was 17, and I retired just a couple years ago after 20 years of service as an Army captain. but and I fully endorsed you.
Which means you're just a kid still.
Yeah, I'm only 40 right now.
Yeah,
So
it's Mayor age in dog years, I think. But
yeah, the military, I'm an old man, but in this world, I'm a baby.
you're just a kid.
So unless you get other questions, I got a bunch of softball questions. If you want to interject,
I got a couple more minutes. I do want to get back to the campaign here. We got a great group of volunteers here working the phones. We got some out in the sort of wet, damp, cold weather. But at the end of the day, I do need to make sure I get back and
we're going to
help get this done.
I just want to come in and do this,
Sure.
and then we're going to make some phone calls. And we're going to walk. I have to finish my precinct, Northwood.
Yes, you do.
And I'll give you some feedback that we walked last week. First 10 houses, 8 wanted signs.
Well, that's good. And what I would say to folks out there is that there really is a choice in this race, and it's also going to be a race, since it's a special election, that has very, very small turnout. We saw in Orange County an unprecedented turnout in November of 18. It was up over 70%. The turnout in this race, if it's 20%, it will be large. And so what that means is every vote matters. Every vote matters more than it does in a normal election. And anyone who is inclined to help can absolutely magnify that help in such a small turnout race. If you bring 10 people to the polls who weren't otherwise coming out, that can literally make the difference. And when I say literally, I mean literally. There has been in the past a supervisor race in this county a decade or so ago. It was won by 3 votes. 3, not 3,000, 3 votes. So come to the polls, bring your friends and neighbors, tell them about this race. Unlike in many races, an individual vote can make a difference in this race.
Awesome, thanks, Don.
Yeah. All right.
Unless you want to,
unless you have any more questions, I want to thank everybody for joining my friend Mark, and I want to thank you, Mark, for bringing out so many good people to help us today. And I look forward to working with you in the coming years. Thank you, Mark.
Thanks.
Bye, everybody.
We got a good turnout. Awesome. I guess I'll keep going for a few minutes.
So for everybody who answers.
And if you got any really big questions, make me yell at them.
Awesome.
So, too bad it wasn't one of those long interviews. Like maybe later in the future I can get him focused, like maybe on a weekday evening when he's not busy. This wasn't planned. I just kind of ambushed him. I said, "Hey Don, come on, let's do live right now." So he wasn't rehearsed. This is not planned. Otherwise, you guys know if I knew I was gonna have him on, I would have definitely pumped it up. I would have made an event, because it's not often I get a state assemblyman on my Facebook Live. Was hoping to get the other candidate on, but that candidate has not gotten back to me, unfortunately. So, Loretta, if you want to, I'll come out and we can talk. Otherwise, sorry. I'd love to be able to chat with the former congressman. Okay, well, there's any other questions?
My daughter also drives by.
Hey,
so she's
Bill Cook, you just missed Don Wagner. He was just on here a second ago. But I'll hang out for a minute and talk about some of the issues.
Yeah.
So, as you guys know, initially I was campaigning for OC Board of Supervisors, but for personal reasons I stepped down, and I tried to contact Don and Loretta because I wanted to find out who to endorse. Emailed Don. He called me right back. We had a conversation. It seemed like a good guy. I want to see about possibly endorsing you. And then I contacted Loretta's campaign. Nobody got back to me. So, that means a lot to me of actually somebody talking to me. So, you know what? I'm going to take my small group of volunteers and endorse Don Wagner, because he actually called me back and seemed like a good person. I like his ideas. Yeah. And I like his ideas about lowering taxes and taking care of us. And if you want to know what he has to say, you can visit his website, electdonwagner.com. Yeah. Or you can just contact him yourself, or you can come out here today to the Republican headquarters, and you can help us make phone calls, or you can walk precincts, or like he said, get out the vote and get people out there. I would like to point out that of all the candidates, Don is the only one that's willing to do a Facebook Live with me and take questions. He literally just took questions live. So I think that says a lot. I'm going to go ahead, I think, and end this in a couple minutes. If nobody has any other questions.
I think he convinced me.
We have one new comment. Hold on. Do you have any comments? Peter Warnock says, "Thank you for connecting with us." Well, thank you for joining us, Peter. And I'm just going to wait around for another minute or two. if you guys have any questions. If not, don't forget mail-in ballots go out the 11th or 12th of February. The election is the 12th of March, so get out the vote. And as the mayor said, every vote counts, and every vote literally can make a difference. Myself will be walking precincts. I prefer to go door to door than to make phone calls, and the weather doesn't really bother me. So we have a question. We have two questions. So I'm just looking on my phone right here. Sean Dwayne says, how many people are ballot harvesting for Don? That's the key to victory. I don't know the answer to that question, but I will find out. But I can tell you that I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, about 15 people here just making phone calls. And there was a group of college Republicans here earlier that are going to go walking. I'm going to go walking. I'm waiting for John Park is supposed to be here. If you remember John Park, he ran for city council, and so did I. And he and I have, combined support to help Don as well. So I'm not sure if he's going to walk, but I'm going to go walk in Northwood and finish my precinct today. Right at about 20 minutes. So I think I'm going to go ahead and end this broadcast and then upload it over to YouTube and Twitter and Periscope so everyone can see it. Anyway, I really appreciate you guys, and I really appreciate Don Wagner for having the strength and courage to come on live, because believe it or not, a lot of politicians will not do live video, and they won't take questions raw from the public, even the tough ones. So I have to give it up to Don for doing that. I never thought he would. I'm really impressed he did. Not everyone likes doing it. I know politicians have told me personally, they said they are terrified of it. Obviously, Don Wagner is not. He's very brave to do that. I really respect him for doing that. So anyway, hope you guys can hear me okay as you guys enjoyed this broadcast. I will do some more of the broadcast later on today, but I want to keep this one focused on the interview that I was able to get. Really stoked. Hopefully I get him on again. And if there's any other candidate like Loretta Sanchez wants to go live, feel free. Give me a call. Just hit me up on Facebook, Loretta, and I'll bring my mobile studio to you, and we can sit there and talk. And you can talk about your views and whatever they are in your campaign. I'm more than happy to do that. But I will talk to you guys later.